Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting Chapter 9 titled Viewing the Structure of a Thesis or Dissertation for a Qualitative Study. This chapter focuses on three aspects: how to structure a qualitative thesis or dissertation, understanding its importance, and determining the most effective way to present a study clearly. Now let's get started. Here are the topics we will cover today. The chapter begins with introduction to the importance of microstructure. It then talks about the key topics in qualitative proposals and explores the specific structure of a qualitative thesis. The chapter also focuses on guided qualitative proposals. Finally, qualitative article concept map is provided. Now I'm going to introduce them in detail. 1. Importance of microstructure. Why the skill of understanding microstructure is important in research. First, let's talk about a common problem, the issue of focus. When reading a paper, people often concentrate only on the content and conclusion of a study, neglecting the underlying research structure, often forget to look at the structure, which is the backbone of the study. Now think about Natalie Goldberg, a famous poet and painter. She has written about how to write in a book called Long Quiet Highway and figured out how to write poems after she began to look closely at their structure. For her, truly understanding how a poem is built made her a better writer. So how you present something is as important as what you are presenting. This takes us to the value of microstructure, is that having a roadmap for research. It helps us build a model for research design, aids us in arranging themes and flow. And finally, its practical applications. If you are writing a master's or doctoral thesis proposal, a good structure is very important. When we are writing academic articles, a clear structure makes it easier for everyone to understand. In short, what we say in research is important. How we say it, the structure, is just as crucial. Now it is a section from our book on the key topics typically included in a qualitative proposal or plan. Firstly, let's talk about the role of advisors. Graduate advisors often have preferred structures for proposals. Students should consult advisors for past successful examples. So it's super important for us to know that our graduate advisors might have specific ways they like proposals to be set up. It's always a good idea to ask them for any examples they think are done well. Secondly, the importance of topic organization. Effective organizing topics is crucial for the successful acceptance and defense of a quality research plan. How we set up our topics can play a big role in making sure our research plan is clear and easily understood. Even though we are focusing on qualitative research here, remember the third point, scientific process of research, which is something that applies to many fields, whether we are looking at social studies, behavior, health, and so on. Lastly, research framework. This is like a step-by-step guide, starting from identifying the problem, asking questions about it, collecting data, all the way to reporting what we find out. I will show the flow chart in the next slide to make this clearer. Let's continue. This is a flow chart which gives us a clear picture of the general framework used in qualitative proposals. Starting from the first box, it begins with identifying a problem. This could come from our own experiences, something we've read in literature, or even suggestions from others. Once we have a problem, we move to the second box. We return that problem into questions. These questions are usually open-ended and general to get a comprehensive understanding. Next, in the third box, we plan our research. Here, we decide on the who, where, and how of our research. With our plan in hand, we then proceed to the fourth box to carry out the research plan. It's essential to do this both ethically and rigorously. And finally, in the fifth box, after we've gathered all our data and insights, we report our findings. This could be in the form of journal articles, books, conference papers, or even proposals for funding. So this flowchart simplifies the steps we take to write a quality proposal. Alright, let's move on to section 3, which provides an overview of qualitative thesis structure. On the left side of this slide, you can see Maxwell's 9-topic model. This model lays out a clear progression. First, we identify the topic we want to understand better. We acknowledge what we currently don't know about it. We then state our purpose for the study. We choose our citing and the participants, explaining why they are relevant. We detail our research methods. We explain how our analysis will answer the questions. We discuss how our findings will be validated. We ensure the study adheres to ethical guidelines. And lastly, we talk about the preliminary results and the study's value. Also, a quick note on proposals. They are typically not more than 20 pages long and should always have the right references and protocols. So let's proceed. Diversity and flexibility in quality research proposals. 1. Different forms of structure. The book introduces 3 main types of structures. First, scientific layout. This is where you will see common elements like the problem statement, literature review, and methods. Next, there is the narrative structure, which presents the research as a chronological story from beginning to end. And for those looking for a unique presentation, the performance structure comes into play. This could be in the form of poetry, plays, or even music. 2. Flexibility and openness. With such diversity in structuring, it's essential for researchers to be adaptable. This means being open to using different structures depending on the research topic and audience. 3. Value of a general structure. Novice researchers benefit from a general structure. Novice researchers refer to those who are new to research. The book suggests starting with a general structure. It provides a foundational guideline, making the research process smoother for beginners. Section 4. In this section, we are introduced to the guided structure for qualitative research proposals. 1. Introduction. This part gives us a starting point, mentioning the problem, its importance, any theories used, the study's aim, and the questions it aims to answer. 2. Next, the philosophical assumptions show us the beliefs and values behind quality research and how they connected to our study. 3. Some might include a literature review, which is a background check on what has been studied before. 4. The procedures section tells us how the research will be done. This includes the type of research, the role of the person doing the research, how data will be gathered and analyzed, and how to make sure the findings are correct. 5. It's also crucial to think about ethical issues or the right and wrong parts of doing research. 6. If there's any early work done, it's in the pilot findings section. 7. We also learn about the possible results and why this study matters in the expected outcome section. 8. Lastly, the appendices give extra details like questions for interviews, forms to use, and a plan for time and money. This structure ensures we don't miss any vital parts of the research proposal. Section 5. Concept map. Let's start with the picture on the left. It's a map based on a story about Vonnie Lee from an article in 1994. Vonnie Lee took bus rides and found them very meaningful. This story is told in a simple story-like way, not like neuroscience articles. Now let's look at the right side. When we do research, it's helpful to make a map like the one on the right. It helps us see the main points and how they connect. If you want to make your own map, here are some steps to create a concept map. 1. Designing and drawing circles for the main ideas. 2. Linking circles for the study progression. 3. Focusing on significant ideas. 4. Keeping the map concise. In the end, when you understand how a story or article is organized, you can use this knowledge for your own work. Alright, let's quickly go over what we've talked today. Purpose. We look at different ways people do research using things like big papers or articles. Key structures. We talked about the usual steps in a research plan and the common topics researchers cover. Methodologies. Remember the 9 questions we discussed? That's a helpful guide for our research. We also checked out how research articles are set up. And lastly, our benefit, concept maps. They help us see and organize our research better. So, after introducing this part, I do hope this overview has been helpful for all of you. Thank you for your listening.